Hi Capricorn, welcome to your week ahead tarot scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Your key to the week this week is the Justice card. The Justice card has been very active this week, and I wonder if on the wider world stage we're going to see some big conversations about law, about legalities, about what is possible or probable, and more importantly, I kind of feel like there's going to be one specific case that's very prevalent in the media. I'm not going to say any more on that because you know me, I don't really like to get political, but when world events show up, they show up, right? Now, that being said, this week, remember the Justice card is about commitment. This is where you're having to really dig in or put your name to the dotted line in some regard. It does also suggest as well, in all of these different sectors this week, you're going to have to make a decision. So if you've been sitting on the fence about something, you know, and we all do this at some point in our lives, even you Capricorn, but wherever it is that you have been sat on a fence, this week it's like you're making a final decision. You're either moving ahead or you're staying put. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. Okay, so your card that jumped out there is the Page of Cups. So when it comes to your actions and options, what's available to you this week are projects, ideas, interactions that require more of your heart. You're very headstrong, you're very much ruled by the mind, you're very smart, you're very intelligent. This week, that's only going to get you so far, right? This week, you've got to put your heart and soul into it. It does suggest to me as well, for a lot of you, maybe you are sharing something that you really require, desire, want, need, are ready to go after with the world or with even just the people in your world, right? That Page of Cups is a very intuitive energy. And I kind of feel like for a lot of you, you've been puzzling over something in your mind, probably for the last 3-4 months, I'm going to say. And it's like here this week, I feel like you're ready, or you're kind of in that space where it's like, yeah, I'm going to execute on this now. It doesn't mean that you're starting or launching something now. It does mean, however, that you are pressing toward finalizing the details on something. And it's like your heart is leading the way on this. I think that's a good thing. For your communications and conversations, you've got the Nine of Wands. This with the Justice card. I gotta be honest with you, I kind of feel like this week you're going to be held to something that you have already agreed to. Whether this is, you know, you said that you were going to go and visit somebody. Maybe you, you know, said you were going to, start a new health regime. Maybe you said you were going to go back to school. Maybe you said you were going to end your relationship. Whatever it is, this week you're being held to something. That Nine of Wands does suggest somebody's going to call you out on not doing or showing up where you said you should. Now, this is a part of the dual-edged sword that comes with being a Capricorn, right? You've got tremendous energy, staying power, stamina. You're able to get things done, to get things over the finish line, to puzzle things out. Very intelligent, very strong. And then on the other side of it, the responsibility part of your ruler Saturn comes in. And it's like when you say you're going to do something where everybody else can kind of flake out, you guys don't get that luxury. For some reason, that's the way that the energy works, right? Whether it's your own innate sense of responsibility or it comes from the outside world. And I feel like it will be that this week. It will be the external world where someone says, well, you know, you said you were going to do this. And there's a part of you that's like, shit. You know, like, I did say I was going to do this and I'm not losing face, so I've got to go ahead with it. If this really isn't good for you, your mental, emotional or whatever health, don't do it, right? Don't allow yourself to be forced into something. However, if this is a promise that you've made, you will be held to it this week. Somebody will probably say to you, hey, listen, you know, you said you were going to come through for me in this way and I can't have you back out now. This is something that I want you to be mindful of because, like I said, you might have a moment where you kind of want to get out and it's just not possible. So something to think about. When it comes to those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, This week, I think, is going to show you where your weak points are and where the gaps are in your knowledge. This isn't to ridicule you or to upset you. It actually is a blessing in disguise. It might be uncomfortable to have them pointed out, but actually in the long run, this is going to be very beneficial for you. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, this could literally be a bust up with management. You might kind of have a moment where it's like, okay, this is really unfair, all right? And this seems to be something that's plagued you guys for a while. I will say it's probably just about to clear or about to pass. We've got the final Saturn-Uranus square, which it's not going to be exact, but we're heading towards that last sort of pass of it, which is at the end of the year. And then after that, it's done. And I can tell you, it's not just you guys that are so over this transit already. I am too. That being said, for those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, I've got to be really honest with you. This is, again, it's something so rare to see from you guys. This is not a week, I'm not saying that you are, but this is not a week to either cut corners or to be doing anything underhand or slightly dodgy. It'll catch up to you really quick, and the retribution from it could potentially be disastrous. The Nine of Wands coupled with the Justice card, that's something that you end up being held to and maybe even getting made an example of for it. Again, I'm sure all of you you're Capricorn, so most of you are going to be completely above board, etc. But if you kind of have an inkling that I might be talking about you or someone that you know, now you know this is the heads up, don't do it. All right, when it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working that night, and for some of you as well, this might be like a little, well, you know, I'm going to get revenge. You're not. And you're going to get a universal bitch slap, or as I like to call it, the astral bitch slap. Don't do it, all right? Please, just don't do it. Remain the Capricorn that you are. Stay in your integrity. You know, all the things, all right? This is just not worth it this week. Now, that being said, for those of you that are retired and no longer working, especially because Mars is retrograde, all right, and Mercury at the end of the year will go retrograde in your sign, but this is not a time for you to launch any form of an attack or campaign, all right, I'll leave it there. For your love and relations, you've got the Four of Swords, so not easy cards this week. That being said, for a select few of you, not all of you, but for a select few of you that are partnered, married, or in long-term commitments, maybe you say to your partner this week, you know what, I actually need some space. It's not a breakup, it's potentially a break, or where you're kind of stepping back and saying, I think this has run its course, but it is a moment of pure honesty, and for you, this is very much heart-led. It's kind of like, this is what I need for us to continue being okay. For those of you that are single and looking, if you are connecting with someone, the allure is that this person has a past. They are a bad boy or a bad girl or a bad person, you know, not in the like, you know, a bad person kind of energy, but somebody that's got a bit of history or a bit of a past, and I gotta be honest, that's probably quite alluring, but the truth of the matter in practicality is once that novelty kind of wears off, what you're left with you may not necessarily appreciate. Just something to be mindful of for you guys. Now, many of you have asked, will Mindset Magic ever be the same price as the introductory? Again, no is the answer to that question. However, it is on the 24th of November going to be on sale for 44% off. So not the introductory rate, but 44% off is still pretty good. You can get that on, there's a code and a link in the description box below. For 24 hours on the 24th of November, you can get that at a heavily discounted rate. We're talking energy work, numerology, astrology, And I've given you a step-by-step process of how to manifest anything you want. If you loved my chakra meditations, you're also getting those as a gift. And if you loved those, you will love the process that I take you on for 28 days. So you're going literally, I'm taking you from the very beginning right through to the end to give you a process that you can use again and again and again. All right. For your money and materials, you have the Tower card. So there's a potential dispute over money, over finances, over resources this week. Some, not weird, but maybe some unexpected financial burden, challenge or issue comes up for you this week. And it could be a little bit of a deal breaker for some of you. Maybe this kind of has you say, right, you know what? My employer said that I was getting a pay rise. I never got it. And so you know what? I'm going to start looking for new work. Maybe your partner or your significant other comes to you and says, I want to make this move, or I want to do this with our savings, or whatever it might be. And you're kind of in that space where it's like, no, you know what? This for me is a breaking point. I'm not doing this anymore, or I can't have this experience again. So there's a finite decision being made, and it's one that will potentially come up very quick. It doesn't have to be a deal breaker for your relationship, but it does suggest that there's some financial decision that's being made this week because it has to be made. It's like you've got no other choice. When it comes to your, I mean, you always have a choice, you always have free will. Take this however you want, whatever part of your life you feel it may or may not apply to. But when it comes to your physical health and vitality, please, please, please look after your nervous system this week, especially because the Nine of Wands is what's known as the wounded soldier. You couple this with the Tower card, that's, you know, a touch wood, please, slips, trips, falls, shutting your fingers in the door, all of that kind of stuff. Please, please, please look after yourself, stay safe. I'm spelling you to be so, making sure that each and every one of you is looked after, protected and covered in a shield. But you got to take responsibility for your own self, right? And this week, no matter how stressful things might get, this should be your physical priority when it comes to your home and your environment. Yeah. This is potentially an electrical problem, and as such, I would like, if there's anything in the home that comes up with that, get a professional out ASAP. Don't sit on it, don't wait for it, just get it done quickly. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.